Ladies Kickin Assets. We are so excited to have you join us today. We are empowering women and really everybody with the financial education they need to live the lives they want. We are not financial advisors, so this is for educational purposes only, but we're so excited that you're here. Robin, I am going to let you introduce our amazing guest. I'm so excited about him.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. So we are thrilled today. And just very quickly, I'm Robin Binkley. This is Courtney Moeller. And we have the honor of talking today with Wagner Nolasco, who has a business called Build to Rent Direct. Wagner is in a super exciting space, a very hot market in the Florida area. And Wagner, we just want to thank you for joining us today and giving us just a few minutes to really talk with you about your journey and where you are and where you see your business moving. So I have a quick question to kind of to start our conversation. And just for our guests, I want to make sure everyone knows that we called each other to coordinate our outfits. And we laughed about this when we got on, because not only do we have coordinating outfits, but we have coordinating backgrounds. So we feel like this is a great synergy to start today off with.
Good morning, girls. You know, Robin and Courtney, you know how much I appreciate your girls, and I'm very proud of what your project is and what your girls are doing. You really are ladies kicking assets, because we can't get this coordination done properly. So you girls rock. I really appreciate the opportunity. So to get started, I think where the business is going, it's so funny how God acts, right? So I'm not sure if you guys that are watching this knows, but you know, Robin has the ability and actually the custom with Courtney to pray before the recordings. And it's so funny because one of my mentors just came here and he brought me something where my business is heading. And that was the perfect question, because this is actually a 2,000-year-old, let me see if I can show it to you guys, denarius that was used on the Roman Empire. And talking about economy and where the business is heading it's exactly that, right? So how did everything start? Where is it heading? So in the beautiful state of Florida, we're continuing to build. Prices are still going up. Rents are still going up. So the market is very hot for us. Well, if you don't know me, I'm a real estate developer. I have delivered over $750 million worth of inventory right now for investors. We do syndications, we do development, new construction, all for rent. All the product that we do is for passive income. That's how I semi-retired at one point in my life, through passive income. I truly believe this is one of the biggest leverage against inflations. And it always goes back to the principles, right? So everything started with commerce, trading. Back on the Roman Empire, it's when, you know, the farmers produced the wheat, and then the wheat was traded and purchased and resold. And then the Roman Empire and Julius Caesar created the money, right? The currency, which is to be coins. So you had gold coins, silver coin, and copper coins. And this is how everything started. So we're going back to that because, as you probably know, speaking to so many smart people, Russell Gray and Robert Helms, and I mean, we you know, Danielle DeMartino Booth, and we know how much our money is depreciating. So what I'm doing for my business and for my personal life is I'm buying more real estate. I'm buying more to invest. I'm leveraging myself with fixed interest rates and collecting rent. So happiest day of the month, as you know me, it's the first of the month. That's when rent is due.
Oh, no, it's when they pay. So we could talk about that.
I love the first of the month. It could be a Monday. It could be a Monday, right? I mean, it doesn't bother me to be a Monday, the first of the month.
No, I used to, you know, growing up, I didn't like Mondays. I actually like all the days. You know, Monday is just another day to get up, you know, take action and make things happen. So it's a good day. I'm always very thankful that God wakes me and gives me another day. So, and I thank him for that daily.
We're so blessed.
Another day.
And you girls are making us very proud with what you're doing. And I think the woman, by having a wife, which is also an entrepreneur, There's not enough programs out there that are teaching them or giving them information. So I'm very proud of you girls to take this action, especially for the women in our lives.
Yeah, I believe in that. So, speaking of the women in your life, you have an amazing wife, Renata, who is an entrepreneur and a doctor and opening a second spa in the Boston area. And Courtney and I will be chatting with her. I look forward to that. And then you have three beautiful young ladies so you want to talk a little bit about your family and how you juggle that and make time for all the quadrants in your life.
So that's a great question. And for all the men out there that you don't understand this, I am outnumbered. So I have three girls, I have one wife and two female dogs. So if you guys feel my pain, you probably know me by now. But, I'm very blessed. I came from Brazil when I was 13. I really built myself in the US. So just to start saying that, family, faith, country. I mean, this is what it's all about, right? So we're very blessed to be in this amazing, beautiful country of the US. And thank you, Courtney, especially, and all our veterans that really continue to give us this freedom every day, right? It's not, we don't take it for granted what we have. We really are appreciative. So came here when I was 13. Renata came when she was between 13 and 14 years old. She went to medical school and she's going to tell her story, but
yes.
Is she from Brazil also?
She was born in Brazil as well when we met here in the US. So, how do I juggle all of this? It's not easy, right? Having a wife, having a business. She also works. We both work. We're parents. Today was actually the first day of school. So we have these three beautiful girls going to different schools with uniforms. So it was very exciting. But I think family comes first, together with God and our country and our freedom. This is the most precious thing I have in my life is my family, my girls. So I would do anything for them. And that's probably why we sacrifice so much. We put so much time into building a legacy and building generational wealth for them. But most important, I think, is all about the examples that we do, right? In life, it's very easy for you to say something, but it's very hard for you to lead by example. So every day, that's one of the things that I ask God is really to provide me with the wisdom and the knowledge for me to become a better person for my kids and for my community. So that's one of my personal improvements every day. I try to either read something or listen to something or notice something that will make me a better person for them. And hopefully I'm going to accomplish my mission by the time that God calls me. So, but it's really trying to be a better person for my community, my family, which is one of our biggest challenges in life, right?
Yes.
How can we improve ourselves every day? So that is my biggest goals. But we have help. So we have people that come and help us at the house, and we have grandmas and grandpas still here in Orlando that helps us, so we can go on date nights, which is important for the couple. But for everybody out there, there's a balance between work, family. You gotta, as a couple, you gotta make time for yourself, right? For the couple. You got to make family time, family trips. That's something we do. We always take 2, 3, 4 family trips a year with our girls to connect because of crazy day. But yeah, it's just, I'm so blessed to have my family. And that's my biggest kicking asset.
I love that.
I do too. Well, and I can tell you that I have to sit down, balancing everything is tough. Sometimes I get laser focused. I have always a handful of projects I'm working on. And, obviously my family, God, family, they're all priorities, but, I'm trying to create, this empire, as you call it. But I have to sometimes sit down and go, okay, hang on a second. I'm devoting too much time to this, or I'm devoting too much time over here. And, we did that circle goals with Robert Helms, which talked about, your work life and your family life. And sometimes I have to sit down and go, okay, I'm putting too much time over here. I really need to, hey, I've been neglecting my friends for the last, month. I need to, reach out, or, maybe I'm not spending enough time with my kids, or, whatever it is. So I'm constantly having to kind of rebalance and make sure that I am, spending my time where I need to do it. And when you've got kids and work and life and masterminds and, personal development, it's a lot to juggle. It's all really exciting. I'm and Wagner, I can tell you, you are such an incredible, positive person. I love every single time you're around. You bring this positive energy that it just radiates out. It's contagious. And I love that. You spread so much joy and so much wisdom. And I think it's, in doing what we're doing, we want to enrich others and give back to others and really help as many people as possible as we can. And I think that's kind of all the path that we're all on.
Definitely. Well, Wagner, you mentioned a very important term earlier about generational wealth. And I see that you are all over social media and you're putting out a lot of content in many different areas. But one of the things recently that I saw was your message that you had recently purchased your 3 girls rental properties that they would be managing. And so I was hoping that maybe you could talk about that a little bit, and stewardship, and how you're training your family in money management and that financial education piece.
Oh, I am so excited to hear that.
I know, it's super cool.
So important.
Super
So
cool.
starting, Courtney, just to say something to you, I think happiness is a choice, right? We all have problems, but we always make thousands of decisions, if not millions of decisions every day. By the time that we wake up, do we want to open our eyes or do we want to stay closed? Do we want to get out of bed or not? So life is about decisions. And I try to look at the best of people, the best of the opportunities, the best of my environment. And I try to make my environment happier because it makes me feel good if I can help somebody or bring something good to somebody. So don't get intimidated if you are a person that wants to really show people who you are, play full out, don't be afraid, just be who you are. And trust me, people will notice that, they'll value that. And yes, going back to the generational wealth. So me and my wife have been struggling a lot with our 3 girls. And the reason why is it's very hard. Unfortunately, our school system does not teach our kids anything about money, right? They just don't. So we used to go to one of their favorite stores, Target, and they picked up a whole bunch of toys. And at the checkout, we're like, okay, look, this is how much it costs. And we ended up, so you can only select one. So we tried to educate them to the best of our abilities. Well, it wasn't working out because we went to Five Below, and that's everything's $5. Right. Now it was a party, right? So now they saw, I used to spend $30 at Target. Now I can have, I don't know, 6 toys for the same amount of money. And at the end of the day, we ended up actually, Chase Bank has a credit card that is a debit card for kids. And you can actually deposit money for them on a monthly basis. And the way me and my wife, we do is we have a list of chores. So every week they mark it off what they're doing on a daily basis. And if they accomplish everything they need to do on a weekly basis, they'll get an allowance that gets deposited into their little card. And we used to go to the stores, and it broke my heart because my middle girl, Mariah, she went in and she picked up like a bag worth of toys, right? And she didn't have enough money on her little debit card. And, she was putting the toys and running through the cashier, and it was giving decline. And she was taking the toys off. It broke my heart. But at the end of the day,
how old is she?
She's 8.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, she's like, Daddy, I don't need all of those toys, right? I'm like, no, baby, look, this is how much money you have. This is how much toys you can have. Now, if you want to buy more toys next time, you got to save. So you start teaching them not only what do they need to do to accomplish success, but also giving them the chance to feel embarrassed or to feel declined, or to make sure that they understand the concept of money. It's not free. So me and my wife, we had an agreement that we really wanted to jump into the deep end of the pool. And we ended up buying one property for each one of our girls. So the 12-year-old and the 8-year-old, Valentina and Mariah, they're going to be doing a cash flow full out report on a monthly basis for us. So what was the mortgage cost? What was the insurance cost? Did the tenant pay their rent? How much was the rent? Did it pay on time? Did it have a late fee? Do they have pets? What can that cost to the house? So, and I'm going to post that on YouTube and Instagram on a monthly basis, them giving the report of their house. And that's going to teach them everything about real estate investment. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to encourage other parents to go ahead and to capacitate their kids, because they can do this with our help, of course, but teach them responsibility, right? So my oldest daughter, I says, look, did we collect the rent on the 1st of the month this month? And she's like, yes. I'm like, well, because if they don't pay on the first, there's $100 late fee.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, I don't want them to pay on time. And I'm like, no, that's not the idea.
But you do.
You do. You're going to lose $100, but what happens if they don't pay at all, right? So you're going to lose $1,800. It's like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to lose 1,800. I'd rather lose 100 for him to pay on time. I says that's exactly the mentality, right?
Yeah.
So you got to teach them how to see things break down. How do they actually allocate that into their spreadsheet at the end of the day? And for a 3-year-old is a little different. She doesn't have the maturity or the capability to manage the property. So basically what we did is we open up a savings account. All the positive cash flow that comes in, we deposit that in a savings account, and the tenant is paying off the property. So by the time she's getting ready to go to college, probably in 15, 14 years, the property will be almost paid in full. And now we have the equity built in that we can use it for college. So that's something that we always have done for our kids, is to buy real estate, but now we're actually teaching them on how to manage, how to appreciate. They can visit their homes every so often to see how are they being taken care. So it's really it's very important for us to stimulate that in parents and actually tell the kids that they can do it, right? And I don't know if you know, but Tom Wheelwright, which is an amazing CPA, and please don't get me hold to those numbers, but you can actually donate up to $12,000 a year for each one of your kids, and that's tax deductible. So make sure that you go out there and you take a look what it's available. But most important is, if you teach your kids how to fish, you're going to feed them for life. If you give them a fish, you're going to feed them for a day. So what I want to do is really make sure that they have the example and the capacity to bring this to the next level if they wish to do it in the future.
That's amazing. It is just really beautiful. And I know that people will be watching this series, if you will, to come, because it's exactly as you've said. And Courtney and I have had many discussions, and in a lot of the circles that we're in, where education is, financial education is not taught in the traditional school system, going all the way up through college. It's not. It's, when you get into the real world and you deal with all that you deal with, and even then, you don't have all the financial education you need.
Right. Well, I was sitting here listening, I'm going to have to step up my game. I've been buying, my kids precious metals. They get, silver and gold and, Bitcoin, but we're going to have to step up our rental game property. And I guess I'm going to have to. So do your kids, are they, the properties they have, are they ones that you have built through your program that you're doing?
Yes. So I'm a builder developer. So usually I buy everywhere we sell. So that's very important for me as well. I eat from my own cooking, as they say, and it's very important. So it doesn't have to be in Florida. Usually I tell people that for you to find an area that you like, I suggest anywhere in the Sun Belt state. So I know you girls are in Texas, fantastic area as well. So it doesn't have to be in a specific place. I love the Sun Belt states because that's where the jobs are going to. So how can you find a good place to invest? Well, go to uhaul.com and look at their reports. Where are trucks going from to? It's simple.
I didn't know you could do that. That's awesome.
So usually they issue reports on where trucks are going from to. Also, if you like an area, diving deep, go to the city hall, and they usually have an economical development team. And you ask them, what jobs are coming here? What companies are coming here? What kind of properties are you looking for? So I would actually invest in an area that you feel comfortable. And yes, leverage 20 to 25% down, leverage that with a fixed interest rate, and you will absolutely have positive cash flow in areas that are appreciating, and you will be giving your kids not only a big gift, which is a real estate property, but you're going to teach them how to fish. Because the problem with real estate that I see, I'm addicted to a few things in life. I don't know if that's good or bad: coffee and real estate. So,
well, cheers to the coffee.
So I'm telling you, this is addicting. Once you start buying the property and everything starts, after the fourth, you actually become a master. So the first one, you're going to have this little, cold feet and everything else. And then buy a second one, and then it starts cash flowing. Then you buy a third one. The fourth one is just a charm. So I highly suggest people I invest in real estate. That's probably not the only investment. Like Courtney does Bitcoin and gold and silver. And Robin, also, I understand you guys do a lot of real estate, especially multifamily. So I just love single family homes because of the exit strategy, the appreciation, the simplicity on how to manage. But yeah, we would love to help, but don't get stuck into one place. Just find an area that fits your needs and just don't wait too long. Just do it. What do you have to lose? And your kids are going to be so appreciative with the education and the opportunity you're providing, because my girls now, that's all they talk about. Oh, my house this, my house that. So my tenant paid on time. Yeah, my tenant also paid on time. So, it becomes a topic of a conversation on a daily basis that it's exciting for them.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. And, it's amazing how much our kids pick up and what they want. So we were just in Colorado. My oldest kiddo just got married in Denver last week. And, Texas has been 110. It's been so hot and we really enjoyed the cooler weather. And, my husband and I were talking and I was like, maybe next year we'll come up here and just rent an Airbnb for a month, to get out of the heat. And my 13-year-old Jaden, he pops up and he goes, well, Mom, why would you rent something? He said, why don't you just buy it so that you can cash flow it?
There you go.
I was like,
yes, well, that's the lifestyle investing, that's lifestyle investing, of which we've done a bit of that. Wagner, you were talking about your business and looking at some of these different ways to see where jobs and the population are moving. Have you considered taking your business outside of the Florida market, perhaps even internationally? Build to rent is such a huge, popular asset class. And I was just curious how you were strategizing that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of land here in Florida that we currently are in hold of. We started buying land about 8 years ago, and we have a lot of lots. So to be very, very transparent, we became very comfortable in where we are. So we usually drive about an hour and a half max to all the projects that we currently have. We have seen not the construction internationally, something that probably we will be doing, but what we are investing is in the relationships internationally. So we now have a rep that is actually procuring product for us and selling product for us in Canada. We actually have one in Brazil. We have one in Colombia right now. So we have seen that even if the worst time to buy a house is during inflationary time, people are saying, I think it's the opposite, because the US and the dollar are the currency that is globalizing the whole world economy. So if it's bad for us, if we have a little bit of inflation, imagine third world countries, right? When I was growing up, I had 80% inflation a month. Oh, so people don't realize how blessed we are in the US and how many people internationally are coming here. So to answer your question, I don't know if we're going to be building outside of the US or outside of Florida, but we're definitely investing into markets to bring investors so they can actually make cash flow in dollars, in which the dollar in, for example, Turkey right now or Brazil, it's 6-1 in Brazil. In Argentina, it's 7-1, the dollar towards the peso or the real. So our currency is still extremely strong, and the dollar, the real estate, the real asset priced in dollar and the rents in dollars still very attractive internationally. So, but you never know what the future holds. So God is in control.
And here's the thing too, though, equity happens, but anything that you're buying today or the loans that you're locking in today, you're going to pay it back with cheaper money. So it's just a smart way. I mean, Jason Hartman and I had a fantastic conversation, and he says, his universal question is compared to what? And I think that's such a fantastic way to look at things. So, okay, sure. Is getting a loan more expensive right now? Well, compared to what? Compared to 6 months ago, potentially. But how about, years ago when interest rates were 15 and 20%? So it's everything is all relative.
It's all about perspective. It's funny because Jason's mom came to visit me one day in Florida. And let me tell you, she's one of the toughest but most sweet investors I have ever known.
I have not had the pleasure of meeting her, but that's fantastic.
She's very sweet. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So since you're working on teaching your girls and really impacting a younger generation on financial education, what advice might you give a young person or someone who's having a career shift that's wanting to get into real estate slash development or build to rent, what are some nuggets of, golden information that you could give them with how to start, what to do?
That's a great question. So people usually think you need to have a lot of money to invest in real estate. In reality, you don't, right? The first advice I have is this: this is a long-term game. If you're coming to make a quick buck and get out of it, you're going to have capital gains, you're going to have taxations. It's not a good game for you to get in and out quickly. And that's not how I look at real estate in particular. First is the location. Find the location that you feel that it's important for you. That's the first thing. Second, it's a team. Who do you trust? Who is actually going to look for your best interest? Property management is really, really, really important anywhere you invest. I would absolutely consider qualifying good partners locally. But if you're going through a career change, make sure that you have enough capital before you invest in a property for unexpected things that could happen, right?
Yes.
Especially existing properties. So you can have an AC breakdown, you can have a roof that leaks. So make sure when you're actually doing a purchase, you do a thorough inspection with a licensed state inspector on that property, and also have money available as a reserve for that property. But this is the only thing I believe that it's going to give you the retirement you deserve. And I'll give you a precise number. 2019, I think interest rates were 6.5%, right? Exactly, almost where we are right now. And people are not complaining. No, so COVID came, we went down, and this is exactly where we are. But yeah, in the 80s, we had 16%, 18%, interest rates. So it's cyclical. It's cyclical. It goes back and forth. But my biggest advice is this: find a team you trust, find a product you like, and make sure you're in for the long term. And real estate is almost a collectibles item. I only sell real estate if I already have maximized my cash flow, appreciation, and my write-offs, my tax write-offs, because real estate gives you so many benefits, right? It gives you appreciation, it gives you positive cash flow, it gives you tax benefits that you can write it off with bonus depreciation and cost segregation bonus depreciation. So there's so many into real estate that actually that's how millionaires don't pay taxes. And real estate has made more millionaires and billionaires than any other asset class in the world. So that should tell you something. But practically, I'll give you an example. I bought about over 20 homes for $139,900 that we built 3 years ago in Ocala, Florida. Those houses today, they're appraising for 285, 287, right?
That's amazing.
So if you wanted to multiply, it's called the compounding effect. If you wanted to multiply your portfolio, what do is you buy an asset, you wait until they appreciate, you do a cash out refi, take the money, put it as a down payment and buy more, right? That's how you multiply. So real estate is a gift that keeps on giving because you will always be able to generate more real estate with your existing portfolio. If you're tired, you don't want to sell, you don't want to manage the property because the property is getting old, and I did that as well on my personal portfolio, is you do a 1031 exchange, which is it's a kind like exchange. Please refer to your CPA for that. It's very technical, but you don't have to pay taxes when you sell the property on all your gains. You can actually transfer those gains into a new asset. So that's what people do. They sell an asset, they buy another one, they pay zero taxes legally. So real estate has a lot of great things to offer. It's the only thing that I believe it's going to create generational wealth. And it's actually, you can structure to a trust. You can tell your kids that they can sell the property. They can only sell one property per year. They can't sell the properties at all. I mean, you can really put the rules and regulations in there to protect your family generationally wise. But I'm addicted to it. I love what I do. I love building. I love coming into a new home. But most important in real estate, what you don't realize is you're going to be able to provide housing, quality housing for people that could never afford or have an opportunity to live on that house. That's why when they cook their first meal, they take their first shower in a brand new house, right? You never know what you're bringing to that family as an experience. But one of the things that I'll tell you is you will actually get more by giving than getting, than receiving it. And when you see the actions and the notes we receive from tenants, not even the investors, oh my God, this house is beautiful, thank you so much, or something broke, it's the little things that matter the most, and real estate will give you that. And once again, Don't listen to an addict, because I'm an addict in real estate. I keep buying more, right? But I just love it. I love the philosophy. I love what it stands for. I love having a real asset I can touch, a tangible asset. And I
Yes.
love all the tax benefits that comes with.
Yes, definitely. Well, with the economy the way that it is and housing prices, the direction that they're going, offering affordable housing in a way that allows people this beautiful place to live. I went on your website and I looked at some of the homes that you have available, and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Wagner, it's a great product, and so I was really excited to see that and the communities that you're developing that.
I tell my wife, I mean, it's a house I will live in. It's definitely a house that has granite, it has stainless steel appliances, it has a Wi-Fi ready thermostat that you can connect to the Wi-Fi. I mean, there is all the assets and all the pluses that we put in those homes, because that's what we want. We want to bring the feeling of the person to, like, wow, I have the best looking home on the street. I have all the bells and whistles. And you got to realize, right? Going back to the basic principles, people need food, they
Mhm.
need healthcare, and they need housing.
Yes.
So my goal in my career and what we do is to bring dignity to these people, right? To bring them a product that is better than they would find on the market. And that has paid in so many ways for us, not only financially. Financially is only a small part of it,
Right.
but it brings us the happiness, the willing to do more, the drive. That's why I don't work. I come here to do what I love. So I'm a very fortunate guy.
You are. You are. Well, I was going to ask you, what did you want to be when you grew up? But I think you've really answered that. You're going to continue to be a housing junkie.
I have so many goals.
And I love
I
that
really
because
do.
it's a vehicle to allow you to give back and just really touch lives. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what you're doing.
the more I live, what I want to do is I want to continue to work with people that I like and trust.
Mhm.
That's where I am in my life. I wanted to make sure that I'm able to protect my family
Yeah.
and to provide a good example to them. Um, I have a lot of dreams. We're actually just starting a nonprofit organization that's called We Got Your Six. So, Courtney, by being military, that means we got your back. And
Well, hold on, let me pause you right there. So my husband is a police officer, and we actually, my son plays baseball, and he has a baseball glove that is black and blue, and it says, "I've got your six" is stitched into the
really,
palm of it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So we already bought the website, and we already started the program. So basically, what we want to do is we want to teach and mentor real estate. I'm sorry, first responders. So police officers, nurses, doctors, teachers, prior military or current military um, personnel on how to invest in real estate. And in some cases, we will invest with them. But most important is after they acquire all this knowledge, they'll have to sign a contract that they're going to have to pay it forward. That's the only requirement we have. So once the first responder gets the benefit of the mentoring, they have to continue the education moving forward, right? And we're actually looking to develop. I don't know if you guys know, but Tom Burns, you met Tom, right? Tom Burns.
yes.
Love Tom.
Yep.
And we open up a company, and his son is also a firefighter. So he's going to be doing this in Austin, Texas. Our goal is really to bring the opportunity for those first responders on making decisions based upon their beliefs. So a lot of cops, especially nowadays, they take action and they make decisions based upon the security of their jobs, not what they believe. We want to give them financial freedom for them to go back to the principles, right? Why did they join? Why do they want to serve? Sometimes they get those handcuffs on them that don't let them do what is right in their personal beliefs. And we wanted to bring that back. And we're actually looking to develop. So Tom and I, we create a company, it's called F4. So it's family, fun, freedom, and friendship. That's what it stands for.
Uh-huh.
And we will be developing projects as well that are going to be exclusively sold for investors that are first responders. So we'll try to make a product that it's accessible, that it's creative, that it's going to make a feel-good project, and we're going to be able to help a lot of people. But that's probably what I want to be when I grow up. Do more volunteer service, do more finding ways to give back to the community, especially the first responder and military community. I was a volunteer for the Coast Guard. I was actually a police officer when I semi-retired. I went to the police academy myself, which was my biggest dream. So I'm a dreamer. I'm a conqueror. I'm a believer. And I think that the more we do, the more we get back in different ways. So that's probably what I want to do when I grow up, is do real estate and do volunteering service of some capacity. So.
Oh, you're doing an amazing job of that. You really
What
are.
about you girls? I know I'm not the interviewer here.
You know what? I don't know if I'm ever gonna grow up. I don't know. Everything is so much fun. I'm the same way. I always look at every situation like, okay, how can I bring value? How can I enrich this person's life? What can I do to leave them better than when I found them? So, really, I'm just, living life, kind of still figuring things out, educating my kids, and hopefully I'm helping other people out along the way. And, I love that you are starting this nonprofit. I want to do something like that, but I don't know what that looks like yet. But I know God will put it on my heart at the right time, because his timing is perfect. So it will all come together when it's supposed to.
Awesome, Courtney.
So when I grow up, I'm still, I'm still growing up. I have really, since I'm in my 50s, I have really come into this season of my life where I see all the different, windows of my life, how it's kind of played on the other. And as I'm having to really dive into that, a little more, I'm really seeing how the ground before and behind has been laid out, and really just trying to not look at myself, but others around me, and not just, yes, learn, but do something with what I'm learning. So it does mean that right now I'm having to also take pause so that I can actually put into place and activate what I'm learning and how to figure out how all those pieces come together. Because, with all of the educational opportunities and mentoring clubs and, mastermind groups, it's pretty overwhelming, and can be every day, every evening, every weekend, every month. But sometimes you kind of have to step back and implement, and then watch the implementation. And so anyway, all that to say, as I'm growing up, I'm doing more, but I'm also doing less, so that I can just kind of radiate, if you will, the amazing information and the people who are touching my lives. I want that to touch others. And certainly generational wealth is important to all three of us, because I've got my girls involved in our family business as well. And so anyway, all that to say, I'm not grown up yet. But I'm growing into who I'm becoming, as our mentors, Robert Helms and Russell Gray, would say to us, be who you're becoming. And it's beautiful. So Wagner, we just appreciate your time so much. How can we allow our viewers to get in touch with you? What's the best way?
So through my website, it's wagnernolasco.com or b2rdirect.com, or just send us a message. I also have my Instagram, my YouTube, which is wagnernolasco.official, if you want to follow us. And I just want to thank Robin and Courtney. I know your husbands. I know part of your family. You guys are just amazing. And I'm very proud of you, because a lot of people usually, they think about doing something right, but you guys actually took action. You created a great space here for us to communicate, to show each other, to help each other, to connect in a different level. And I'll tell you, I have given tremendous amount of interviews lately. I was in a very successful podcast on the 1st of August that had 19 million downloads. And I haven't felt so open, so welcomed on this amazing conversation we had here. So not saying anybody else is worse. Please, that's what I try to convey here. But I feel like I'm sitting in my living room, have a conversation with friends, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot to us,
Oh.
especially on the crazy days we're living now. So
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for saying that, because that has been on the forefront of mine and Courtney's hearts, to just make it feel like we're sitting down and just having a conversation, not some pointed,
Yes, I don't want it to feel like an interview. I want it to feel like a conversation amongst friends. And, when these
yes.
questions pop up, or, things we have to say, we can do that. And we don't have this format that we have to follow. And, I want it to be interesting and things that people can relate to, yeah, that's so important.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt, even without knowing your intent. So I really appreciate that,
Well,
because
thank you.
nowadays
That's
everything is so
fine. Thank you.
mechanical,
Thank you
everything
for
is
saying
so
that.
non-natural. So I feel like I'm sitting in my house having a cup of coffee with friends and just chatting. So yeah, it means a lot to
Wonderful.
me. I really appreciate you guys. I met you before you had this channel, and
Yeah.
I just want to congratulate you once again, because it's tremendous. Love your professionalism, love your team, the way they structure everything, the way they schedule the call. I mean, you guys are really rocking, rolling. So congrats.
Oh, thank you. We're
Great to see you.
figuring it out as we go.
each
Great job.
each one gets a little better, but thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
I
Have an
wanted to
amazing-
leave. I wanted to leave something here for you
Oh,
girls.
sure.
If anybody is interested in probably creating for their kids anything, I will be more than glad to
Me.
personally respond to you guys on what I have done, and please adapt to your local regions if you need to, because our future is, we don't know what we're going to be when we grow up, and maybe we'll never grow up, but our kids will. So
We are definitely going to be having a conversation after
yeah.
this. I'm so interested in this, and I know my kids will absolutely love it. I think this is amazing. So I have questions, and I will definitely be contacting.
Love to help. So I just wanted to plant a little seed here. If you're a parent and you want to help your kids, I would love to share any information that I can to help you set up the same programs or similar. So my passion's really, it's to help our community to become a better place. So that starts at home.
You know what? I want to be like Wagner when I grow up.
Me too.
I don't know. Well, I can't grow up anymore in height, but maybe I'm growing on size. So I don't know if that's good.
I think you're growing in what you're radiating, Wagner, and it's joy. That was my word for the years. What you take in is what you put out, and you really exude that in every way and in so many aspects of your life. I mean, it's very evident to others, and so that's powerful for a man or a woman to radiate joy. It's pure. It's not of us. It's beyond us, it's supernatural, and so it's really amazing. And so
thank you.
I love that about you and your business and your family.
What's so funny is that when I'm around good people, that's when it happens, right? So usually there's some people that actually come near you and they just suck your energy dry.
Yeah.
The people that you just feel like, oh my God, I feel so much more recharged by being surrounded by these people. So yeah, put people in your life that makes you happy, that brings you joy, that brings you pleasure, that you can trust and be yourself. Because sometimes we have that protection, right? That we try to be somebody else because we don't want it to be vulnerable. And I don't want to be like that anymore. I wanted to be surrounded people that I trust and I like and I love. But girls, I'm running probably out of your time because I have time. But thank you so much. You guys really did an amazing job here. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much.
We appreciate you. Okay.